attempting to sell you things. We've called it a modern ephemera, and we're going to try and get through these slides in 20 seconds each. Let's start going.
All right, so first off, this is Wikipedia's big list of AdverGames, which we found after we made the presentation. And as you can see, it's quite popular. There have been many different AdverGames throughout the years. And I hope no one really notices that we clicked on ethnic cleansing to find out what that was. But people like Hezbollah are making AdverGames, which I guess are more ideology games, if you want to put it in those terms. That's like a white power group made that. America's Army, we'll get to later.
All right, that's 20 seconds.
All right. So the important thing is, when we say AdverGames, the first thing that probably comes to your mind, this is like a say my name moment, is the King! The King is legend. You all remember the Burger King games, right? You remember them. You remember...
Pocket Bike Racer.
No, next one.
Sneak King.
No, next one.
Big Bumpin'.
No, I mean next slide.
Oh.
All right, Sneak King. Pocket Bike Racer. Big Bumpin'. Which, all right, we did that moment already. Cool.
So my favorite part about Sneak King is this Wikipedia entry that says, common criticisms of the game include a limited amount of dances available after delivering sandwiches, which I think is also a problem with a lot of modern AAA gaming. And also gameplay borrows from games such as Manhunt. For those of you who don't remember, this is Manhunt, so I don't see it.
So we're saying that selling hamburgers is the equivalent of murdering people for sport.
I'll go for it.
All right.
So this is supposed to be a 20-second countdown timer in the corner, but instead it says something in Chinese, and if there's anybody in here who speaks Chinese and it says something horrible, I'm sorry. But we decided to go all the way back to the beginning, to one of the first AdverGames we could find, which was Kool-Aid Man, 1983, Atari 2600. It would cost you 125 proof of purchase points. I don't know how much that is. It sounds like a lot of Kool-Aid.
It's diabetes for a family of 4.
Again. And again, the Wikipedia entry is really helpful. It says, hitting him will supposedly use Kool-Aid to quench his thirst and thus saving the pool. I don't know about that. All right, next one.
So Donald Land is one of the first of a long line of McDonald's games. It came out in 1988 for NES. Just look at his dapper little smile. They got Mayor McCheese in there. And the cool thing about Donald Land is that unlike McKids, which will come up later, gameplay is simply a platformer without any puzzle elements to it. For a long time it seemed like the word game is synonymous with platformer. People would make AdverGames that were just platformers.
So the next two are two more McDonald's games. There was this 1993 one on the NES called McKids, which has an incredibly confusing and dense UI to it. There's like multiple forms of currency in this game. I don't know anything about it. But the other one's actually really cool. McDonald's Land Treasure Land Adventure was actually made by the studio Treasure, which made Gunstar Heroes and Mischief Makers and a billion other things. And again, Wikipedia to the rescue with another really weird thing about this game, which states that Ronald ends up in a cave and battles an anthropomorphic tomato that has the second piece of the map. You get the first piece of the map by defeating a goblin who's riding in a clown robot.
But if you think about it, how long has McDonald's been battling real tomatoes?
Hey! This was the game that inspired this presentation, which is Chester Cheetah's Too Cool to Fool. Oh, you guys know this one. I begged my parents to buy me this game. It is not very good, but the actual back of the box copy says that players must explore the entire United States looking for Cheetos to eat. That is not true. As you can see from here, I don't know what parts of the United States this is. It's like a junkyard.
I think the parts of the United States that listed were like Castle.
Yeah, there's a Castle pirate ship.
In a mall. Yeah.
There's actually a sequel to this game. It's also not very good. This one you
And then we're back to more McDonald's games, Mick and Mac as the global gladiators, where Mick and Mac were fighting toxic slime people, which seemed to be a theme that is touched upon by later AdverGames, which we'll get to.
Cool Spot, which was actually Dave Perry and Tommy
Tallarico, Video Games Live!
Yeah, he did the music for this game. It's totally cool. It's actually a pretty good game. The weird thing is that in Europe they released it without the 7-Up bottle, and it was just like a game about soda. And I guess because Fido Dido was the brand mascot in Europe, but he also had his own game, so it's a snake eating itself, I guess. I don't know. Chex Quest! Forever and Always, the original, just best AdverGame ever made. Featured you. Yeah, featured you as like a dude in Chex armor, which doesn't seem like a good idea when you say it out loud. It was incredibly successful. There was this cool cutscene in the beginning where it turns out in the future everybody's made out of Chex. The part that really blew my mind was that corporate sales of Czech saw a tremendous boost, with incremental volume over base increasing by 295%, and volume share increasing 48% from the previous year. I don't know what that means. It sounds like people were buying a lot of Chex Mix. The cool thing is that it was like a Doom total conversion, and if you use the level skip cheats, you can actually just go to Doom levels. Which, if any of you travel back to like 1992, you can be the coolest kid around. The Yaris game from 2007. Xbox, I know you guys all went out and bought Yaris's when you're done with this one. Again, continuing with the theme of like weird, absurd twists on a brand, it featured a prehensile robotic gun called a Mechano-Symbiont that came out of the hood. If you actually buy a Yaris, it does not come with this. Russell seems to like this game. When I said it was bad, he gave me like a weird look, so I don't know, you can ask him about it later. Oh, you guys like this one too. So, a funny story about this game, my family got weirdly obsessed with this game when I was a kid, and like you couldn't buy it in the store for some reason. We went to like a lot of stores trying to buy it, so my parents just kept renting it from like the video store nearby. And I had this like weird, like one of the few memories I have as a kid is waking up in the middle of the night, like the first time when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, whoa, there's this whole time that exists outside of me. And my dad was downstairs like playing this game at 3 in the morning trying to beat it, and that's why I have tagged this as emotionally resonant. This is a game about Doritos. Doritos made these horror games. They're called like Asylum 626 and like Hotel 624. And there's not a lot about Doritos in them except when you play in the beginning and it's like hardcore snack dudes like this game. I didn't actually play this one, but it's out there. I don't know how Doritos figure into the story. Nerf Arena Blast. Yeah, this one's actually really good, right? It was billed as a family-friendly alternative to Unreal Tournament. There's a market slice that went ignored for a long time. It's actually really fun if you can still find it. Supposedly it still runs. I don't know. Oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah, and then finally America's Army. This is like the crown jewel in the crown of all AdverGames. The series has been going since 2002. There was another release in 2007 and finally 2013. And what this game makes us really ask is, like, at what point are you selling a product or a service or an ideology, and where do you draw the line between an AdverGame and some other form of promotional game?
There's also an amazing thing in this game. I'm not sure if it's true in the 2013 version, but it seems like it would be. Neither team. So one team has to play as terrorists, and one team has to play as the American soldiers. But neither team sees themselves as the terrorists. Both teams see themselves as the soldiers. So you're always shooting terrorists, which is what we call some great fucking metagame.
Finally, there's a picture of Stephan. If you know him, he's got a bunch of cool stuff about ideology out there, but we won't get into that because never go full Zizek. All right. Thanks.